I am writing this week's episode in snowy Idaho Falls, enjoying the beautiful and fresh white nature scenery through my glass windows. It is quiet and calm here. I feel peaceful, I feel connected, and concentrated. Winters here are brutal, very cold and very windy. But within those circumstances, I see the beauty and the benefits of it. This season, where I am mostly indoors, evokes a desire in me to read more when I am home. It evokes sentiments of embracing change and transformation. I have felt very creative this week, solving a few design problems that I will share later with you. I find beauty and solutions in simplicity. Although the reduction of sunlight can affect my mood negatively, the sense of introspection and calmness makes me feel very comfortable and productive. All my senses are activated. I see the stunning white nature in my yard, and even my trees look like a spectacular winter wonderland. So pretty. I can hear the soothing sound of the blowing wind interacting with the steel wind chimes, creating natural music for me. It is very relaxing. I feel the soft cotton fabric of my chair touching my body while working, and it is so comfortable. I smell the woody fragrance of balsam and cedar from my soy candle, bringing a fresh forest scent to my space. I feel immersed in nature. It is so refreshing. And I am enjoying my yummy hot cocoa to keep myself warm and cozy through my writing and recording process. I love how I feel in my home office right now. Whether it is the place we live, the place we work, or the place we play, we always connect our senses to an interior space. Consciously or unconsciously, all of them are present to collect the information about our environment and then be interpreted by our brains. Interiors and the five senses. Welcome to episode 8 of Think-Design-Provoke, the podcast. Studio Chess. Welcome to Think-Design-Provoke, the podcast. An intimate space where every week you receive inspiration about the fascinating world of interior design and all the benefits and effects in your lifestyle. My name is Francesca, and we will create meaningful conversations to unveil the enigmatic perception of interior design as a discipline that simply focuses on aesthetics. We will expose everything from interiors to its relationship to architecture, surroundings, history, and culture. We will challenge the misconception of interior spaces confined in architectural boundaries. We will understand that interior spaces provide the setting for human activity and are created to fulfill human desires and needs, where sensory pleasures and engagement are celebrated. That is the built environment, the connection between individuals, physical spaces, experience, emotions, and its social consequences. I am your host, and I invite you to join the design conversations that will elevate your consciousness about interiors. Consciousness that will embrace the beautiful possibilities of manifesting all your senses in your space. Hello, hello. I am happy to be here connecting with you, creating these meaningful design conversations. This podcast is presented by Studio Chess Interior Architecture Design Studio. Sensorial design takes into consideration all five senses in order to trigger specific feelings and emotions. By appealing to sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste, an all-immersive indoor experience is created through the engagement of the users. The way spaces feel, sound, and smell have equal weight to the way spaces look. These phenomenal properties in spaces influence how we perceive and interact with the world. Our perception of interiors come to us consciously and unconsciously. The more senses we engage, the more strongly we are tied to a moment, to an object, or to a space. Each spatial experience is an individual journey. It is not a destination. An interior can provoke positive feelings of comfort, warmth, surprise, and joy, or also negative feelings of stress, sadness, discomfort, and anger, just to mention some of the emotions. Typically, the five senses are considered as separate entities acting individually, but the senses work in synergy to inform each other about a cohesive experience. A holistic immersion concept known as phenomenology, which proclaims that the design of a space should stimulate the senses and not just the visual stimuli. The entire body's inclusion allows all the senses to be involved and not just the sense of sight. The body can sense the warmth of the environment, its texture, smell, and sound. Let's start with sight. The visual sense is considered the prime vehicle for spatial perception. Traditionally, spaces have been dominated by the eye and sight. To view a space is to see not only the solid forms, but also the openness and space of an area. The power of visual brings to life a big part of the storytelling of a space, from flooring patterns to large custom murals to light boxes. These are just a few visual solutions to create unique eye-catching environments. Radio City Music Hall is full of gorgeous interior spaces and is one of New York's many Art Deco stunners. The soaring lobby, covered in a mural by Ezra Winter, is just the beginning. Everything from the theater itself, with its simple but beautiful design, to the downright luxurious bathrooms, feel as beautiful as it must have when the theater opened in the 1930s. I love to see beautiful spaces. However, in my opinion, vision cannot steal the show, suppress, and neglect the rest of the senses. I am not saying that Radio City Music Hall does not engage other senses in their spatial experience. It certainly does. I am simply stating that the most successful spaces are not only pleasing to the eye, but appealing to the rest of the senses. Let's continue with hearing. The perception of sound in interiors is complex. Every space has one. The sound and experience of a quiet library, where the sound of the flipping pages is amplified, cannot compare with the guest's experience of a theater while watching a movie. The dialogue, sound effects, and music are the three types of sound guests enjoy. While in a library, concentration is the main purpose of the space, and silence plays a key role in the user experience. Rather than in a movie theater, where keeping an audience captive and entertained is the objective through an effective and clear sound design. As we chatted before, sound can help mold a space with the help of materials and textures which tend to modify, absorb, reflect, channel, or amplify it. Sound is crucial in interiors. It literally sets the tone for any room. It creates experiences unique in time and allows us to connect in a non-visual way. Let's reconnect with the sense of touch. In our previous episode, Hapticity in Interiors, we chatted about this sense and the importance of haptic qualities. So today, I am going to give you a different and powerful perspective about the sense of touch. Think about other demographics that have physical impairment. There is a vast number of physical disabilities affecting people differently that includes visual impairment or hearing loss, for example. And sensorial design allows these users to have a meaningful experience as well, experiencing spaces with the senses they can enjoy and understand. Let me tell you about Hazelwood School, which was designed for children and young people up to 18 years old, who are both blind and deaf or dual sensory impaired. Therefore, their tactile sense was more vital in catering to their independence and helping them in their orientation of the building. Scottish architect Alan Dunlop conceived a plan to make children follow a straight route through the building, thereby avoiding maze-like conditions. The interior walls of the building are paved with materials which have multiple textures, whereby students can feel with their hands and make out their whereabouts. They are therefore able to move around the school without any help, and this increases the children's confidence despite their impairment. This project is truly special. It moistens my eyes thinking about these children's special needs, their productivity, and morale. Good design is universal, inclusive, and multisensory spaces facilitate a sense of belonging and integration to diverse users. Let's move over to the sense of smell. Smell has the power to preserve and capture memory of every space, and every space can be identified by its own particular scent. If you have visited Abercrombie & Fitch stores, you know their stores have a very strong aroma that you can smell from the storefront. The brand uses a signature fragrance that includes a combination of scents including citrus, musk, and woods. That is not just happenstance. It is a complete brand strategy designed to create a specific ambiance and evoke a sense of luxury and exclusivity. Business scenting used the right way can drive consumer behavior and even serve as a secondary logo for the brand. The power of smell improves brand image, builds emotional connections, and increases loyalty and revenue. This is a marketing strategy supported by an interior design solution. Let's talk about taste. The Argentinian writer and poet Jorge Luis Borges once said, "The taste of the apple lies in the contact of the fruit with the palate, not in the fruit itself." The taste is not something inherent in itself. Its experience is the result of an encounter. Similarly, emotions are not contained within an interior space, but are only felt through the encounter of the body with the space when it becomes a place. Believe it or not, regarding interiors, the sight of appealing materials will make our mouth water. Taste is correlated to appetite when it refers to eating experiences and environments. When I talk about taste in association with interior design, I refer to how our surroundings can influence positively or negatively our eating experiences. Smell, among other elements of design like light and color, can affect positively or negatively the appearance of food and the total eating experience. Smell indeed amplifies taste. When you cook your favorite meal at home, or when you go to your favorite restaurant, even before you take a bite, your mouth is watering. Think about it. Just the smell of the food triggers your taste buds. And when we sit down to eat in a pleasant space, we send signals to our brains to switch off and relax. We feel uplifted as we take the time to eat and interact with others. Most of us associate all experiences with how we feel in a moment. We evaluate an experience based on what we see, hear, smell, touch, and taste. Based on these criteria, we decide whether the experience was enjoyable or not. When you experience a space not just by the visual aspect, but through all the senses, you will then emotionally connect more with that space. The same space can create different emotions in another person, depending on how they use their senses and how they feel in that moment. Remember what I mentioned previously. Each spatial experience is an individual journey, not a destination. In summary, a space is much more than just its appearance. The five senses can strongly affect the user's experience, and a sensorial expression can transform the interaction between people and the built environment into something deeper, into a meaningful and memorable experience. The growing understanding of the multisensory nature of the human mind has emerged from the field of cognitive neuroscience research. Thankfully, this understanding is leading to the development of architecture, urban spaces, and interior spaces that do a better job of promoting our social, cognitive, and emotional development. As Palasma said, architecture is the art of reconciliation between ourselves and the world, and this mediation takes place through the senses. Every touching experience is multisensory. Qualities of matter, space, and scale are measured equally by the eye, ear, nose, skin, tongue, skeleton, and muscle. If you feel identified and connected with this podcast, please join the design conversations and invite your friends and family to be part of our community. I will be here every Friday to chat with you about interesting topics within the fascinating interior design world. You cannot miss the next episode where I will chat with you about universal design and its meaning. If there is a specific topic that you want me to discuss, or if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me through Instagram or Facebook. Also, you can send me an email at thinkdesignprovoke@gmail.com. Please follow me on my social media platforms at Studio Chess to continue the design conversation. In the episode notes, I am including the contact links for your reference. Also the links for Radio City Music Hall, Abercrombie & Fitch, and Hazelwood School so you can enjoy it for yourself. If you find value in this content, please share this episode in your social media or chats, and remember to leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite audio platform. Thank you for your attention and for being on the other side. It is my absolute pleasure to be here with you. I'll chat with you next Friday, and remember, everything in the built environment is by design and you are part of it. Ciao, ciao!